The conference room smelled like expensive leather and old money. My brother Marcus sat to my left in his tailored suit, checking his Rolex every 30 seconds. My sister Victoria was on my right, her designer handbag worth more than I'd spent on rent in 6 months. And me, I wore a simple black dress from a thrift store in Nairobi, still jet-lagged from the 16-hour flight I'd taken to make it to Dad's will reading. The lawyer, Mr. Patterson, adjusted his glasses and cleared his throat. Thank you all for coming. Let's begin. The last will and testament of Richard James Morrison. I'd always been the family disappointment, the screw-up, the one who couldn't get her life together. While Marcus went to Harvard Business School and Victoria became a corporate lawyer, I got an art degree from a state college. While they bought houses in gated communities, I backpacked through countries they couldn't find on a map. While they posted about their 6-figure salaries, I posted photos of sunsets from places with no running water. To my son, Marcus, Mr. Patterson read, I leave the sum of $50,000. Marcus's head snapped up. I'm sorry, what? To my daughter, Victoria, I leave the sum of $50,000. Victoria's face went white, then red. This is insane. There must be a mistake. Mr. Patterson looked at me over his glasses. And to my daughter, Claire, I leave the remainder of my estate. This includes all properties, investment portfolios, and savings accounts. The total value is approximately $4.2 million. The silence in that room was deafening. Marcus stood up so fast his chair fell backward. What the hell? This is a joke, right? She's a nomad, Victoria shrieked, pointing at me. She doesn't even have a real job. She's been mooching off Dad for years. I didn't say anything, just watched them fall apart. I have additional materials. Mr. Morrison requested I share, Mr. Patterson said, pulling out a leather journal. He wanted you all to understand his reasoning. He began reading Dad's handwriting. Marcus called me twice this year. Once on my birthday, 45 minutes late. Once to ask if I could co-sign a loan for his second vacation home. He didn't ask how I was doing either time. Marcus's jaw clenched. Victoria visited me 6 times in 2 years. Every visit lasted less than 30 minutes. Every visit ended with her asking about the will, about her inheritance. She never asked about my treatment. She never asked if I was scared. Victoria's hands were shaking. Claire came every week for 8 years. Every single week. She rearranged her entire life around Tuesday afternoons because that's when I had chemo appointments. She held my hand when I vomited. She slept in hospital chairs. She never asked me for money. Not once. The journal trembled in Mr. Patterson's hands. My children who succeeded in business forgot what success actually means. But my daughter, who they call a failure, showed me what it means to be rich. She gave me her time. The only thing we can never get back. I felt tears on my cheeks. They loved my money. Mr. Patterson read the final line. She loved me. Marcus recovered first. We're contesting this. Obviously, Dad wasn't in his right mind. The cancer, the medication, he anticipated that, Mr. Patterson interrupted, pulling out another document. This will was written 4 years ago and updated annually. Each version was witnessed by 3 independent physicians who certified his mental competency. He also recorded video testimony. Mr. Patterson turned a laptop around. On the screen, Dad sat in his study, looking thin but clear-eyed. If you're watching this, it means one or both of you is trying to take what I've given to Claire. Let me be perfectly clear. This is not the cancer talking. This is a father who spent his final years learning exactly who his children are. He leaned closer to the camera. Marcus, you missed my last 6 birthdays. When I told you I was sick, you said, that's tough, Dad, and spent 20 minutes talking about your portfolio. Marcus looked like he'd been slapped. Victoria, you told your mother you'd take care of me if anything happened to her. She died 7 years ago. You hired a nurse and sent a check. You called that taking care of me. Victoria's makeup was running down her face. Claire has been lying to you both for years. Those backpacking trips, the irresponsible wandering you mocked, she was volunteering with Doctors Without Borders. 18 months in Somalia. 2 years in Syria, 6 months in Yemen. She's a trauma nurse, saving lives in places you're too afraid to visit. My siblings turned to stare at me. I've been funding her trips because I'm proud of her. Prouder than I've ever been of anything, but I told her not to tell you because I knew you'd diminish it. You'd find a way to make it about money instead of meaning. Dad pulled out a stack of letters. I documented everything. Marcus, you asked me for money 7 times last year. Victoria, you asked me to change my will 4 times to maximize your inheritance. Claire never asked for anything except my company. He looked directly into the camera. This is the most deliberate decision I've ever made. You built your lives around acquiring wealth. Claire built hers around alleviating suffering. I'm simply ensuring she has the resources to continue that work. The video ended. I want to contest it anyway, Marcus said weakly. That's your right, Mr. Patterson said. However, Mr. Morrison left his daily journals from the last 8 years, documenting every interaction with each of you, every missed call, every broken promise. Victoria stood abruptly. I don't need to hear this. Sit down, I said quietly. They both froze. It was the first time I'd spoken. Sit down, please. They sat. Dad asked me to give you both a choice. I pulled out an envelope. You can each take your $50,000 and leave, or you can do something to earn more. Earn it? Marcus scoffed. We're his children. You can volunteer 200 hours at St. Catherine's Hospice. That's where Dad died. 200 hours. Cleaning, feeding patients, sitting with people who are dying, actually being present for suffering you can't monetize. Victoria's eyes narrowed. And if we do this, then I'll give you each $500,000 from my inheritance. Marcus did the math. 10 times what Dad left us just for volunteer work? It's not just volunteer work. It's learning what Dad tried to teach you your whole lives. That wealth isn't about accumulation. It's about what you do for others. This is manipulation, Victoria said. No, manipulation is visiting your dying father only to ask about his will. This is an opportunity, maybe your last one. Mr. Patterson cleared his throat. You have 1 week to decide. Marcus and Victoria left without another word. 3 days later, Victoria called me. I'll do it. I went to St. Catherine's yesterday, just to see it. I met a woman there, Margaret, 83, stage 4 lung cancer. Her children haven't visited in 8 months. I didn't say anything. She asked me to read to her. Just read. From a book of poems. For an hour. When I left, she said it was the best hour she'd had in months. Victoria was crying. An hour of my time was the best hour she'd had in months, Claire. I finally understand what Dad was trying to tell us. Marcus called 2 days after that. I'm not doing your charity work. I'm taking the $50,000 and contesting the will. Okay, I replied simply. That's it? Just okay? Marcus, Dad gave you free will. I'm respecting that. Long silence. Did he really write all that about me? Yes. Did he write anything good? I flipped through the journal. 8 years ago, Marcus called today about his promotion. He sounded so proud. I remember when he was 7 and said he wanted to be just like me. Today he's better than me, more successful. I'm proud of him. I paused. You talked for 4 minutes. You didn't ask him a single question. Marcus's breath hitched. I didn't know he was proud of me. He was. He just wanted you to care about something other than success. The line went dead. 4 weeks later, St. Catherine's called me. Ms. Morrison, both your siblings have completed their volunteer hours. Marcus started 2 weeks after Victoria. He's requested to continue beyond the required hours. Victoria organized a fundraiser that brought in $40,000. I sat down slowly. They don't have to do that. Victoria said she's not doing it for the inheritance anymore. She said, my father knew what I needed to learn, and I'm finally learning it. 2 months after the will reading, I met Marcus and Victoria at Dad's grave. They brought a bench. For the hospice garden, Marcus explained, showing me the plaque. So families can sit with their loved ones outside. I read the inscription, time is the only wealth worth giving. Richard Morrison. We're donating it today, Victoria said, and I'm setting up a foundation using my $50,000. It'll provide stipends for family, members who want to take leave to care for dying relatives. I'm matching her donation, Marcus said quietly, and I quit my job. I'm going back to school for my nursing degree. I know it sounds crazy at 41, but I met this kid at the hospice. 17, dying of leukemia. He wanted to be a doctor. Won't get the chance. I've spent 20 years making money I don't need for a life I don't love. I started crying. Victoria put her arm around me. We don't want the $500,000, she said. That money should go to your work. Save lives with it. That's what Dad would want. You earned it, I argued. No, Marcus said. We're earning something else. We're earning the right to say we finally understood what Dad was trying to teach us. 6 months later, I was in South Sudan when they video called me. Victoria was at St. Catherine's in Scrubs, 3 days a week. I'm doing legal aid for families with medical debt the other days. Marcus appeared, also in Scrubs. Clinical rotations start next month. Also, I met someone. She's 26, thinks it's cool I gave up money for meaning. Dad would like her. When we hung up, I looked at an old photo of the 4 of us. Dad's will wasn't just a distribution of assets. It was a final lesson. He'd given Marcus and Victoria exactly what they needed, not what they wanted. And in doing so, he'd given all of us a chance to become the people he always believed we could be. The inheritance wasn't the money. It was the truth. And truth is worth more than $4.2 million.